awesome.
Yes.
Look at you. You're becoming a real grillsman.
I'm doing the do. Gotta do it. It was too fucking hot to cook inside, that's for sure.
I'll tell you who may or may not have been doing it, and that's WWE at Backlash 2020, and that's because Pasty and I didn't watch a single fucking match.
We
So
sat this one out.
they either did or didn't do it. I don't know.
It felt really good to sit it out, but then the rest of the week I was like, I'm missing something. Something's not right. What's off? What's off? You didn't watch the pay-per-view. Fuck. I don't want to watch the pay-per-view. And then I listened to some reviews, and I'm like, there's a couple matches on there I might want to check out. I don't know. Did you see the Miz and Morrison music video I shared on the B-Sticks page?
No, not at all.
So great. They have a song. It's like very like 80s. It's called Hey 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 Ho Ho Ho.
That's awesome.
It's pretty amazing, and it was like it's like a 80s pop song about how they're going to take the title from Strowman. It's great. Some of the best work I've seen from the Miz, and something I just never expected to see from Morrison. So go watch that. It's on Facebook.com/BeefSticksPodcast. Check it out. It's funny shit. Boop, boop, boop. So yes, Backlash happened. We didn't watch it, so this is going to be a pretty quick review. Coming in on the kickoff, we had the United States Championship match. Apollo Crews retaining against Andrade.
You know, this is one of the matches that could have been one of the best matches on the card, and again, they just throw it on a pre-show for no reason.
Of course. You know, Apollo Crews has not had any percentage of the amount of spotlight I thought he was going to have when he came to the main roster.
Oh, and he's been one of the biggest letdowns. And Andrade, surprisingly, I thought there was going to be a lot for him, and then he started banging Charlotte, and even banging Charlotte, he's still stuck on the pre-show with Crews.
It's just weird that, you know, Sami Zayn didn't want to come in because of the COVID thing, so they peeled the title off of him because they need to have the titles on the show, but then they put the United States Championship on a pre-show. It's like a back burner belt. Like, why couldn't Sami just hold on to that IC title at that point?
Well, yeah, I agree 100%. Wasn't it that is Sami in the States? I thought he was out of the States and couldn't
I'm sure
make
he's
it.
in Canada, wherever he lives.
Yeah, he's in Canada, so he can't even cross the border.
But,
so.
you know, it's Sami
But they
Zayn.
could have kept
He's
it
pretty
on him.
political with WWE and the Saudi Arabia shit, and so, you know, even if he felt safe, I can't blame him for being able to take this time off, you know?
He's probably the lowest tier wrestler who has the most balls to stand up to WWE.
He really does. He really does.
Like,
and I hope he
WWE
stays there forever just to irritate Vince.
Oh, for real, because like WWE wouldn't miss him for a second if he left. I would, you would. I love him. I have nothing negative.
Well, I'd watch wherever he went though, too. So.
Oh, for sure. But I mean, like they're not worried about losing him, and he's still every chance he gets, he's like, nah, fuck you. Nope, not happening, buddy. I love it. I think it's just great, and that's just Sami. That's the spirit that got passed down to him from El Generico, his trainer. Then, of course, we had the first match on the card, the Women's Tag Team Championship 3-way. Bayley and Sasha successfully defended their belts against Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross and the Iconics.
Wrong team won. Should have been Iconic.
Obvious team won, though, I think.
Yeah. From what I heard, the Iconics did pretty well in this match, and it was their mouth that got the better of them to make them lose.
Oh, and you know, all six of these women are just super, super talented, and they're just another list of people that are just getting wasted.
Mm-hmm. Wasted. Then we had Sheamus defeating Jeff Hardy, just as I predicted.
Damn you, Pasty.
You don't get piss thrown in your face on Friday to lose on Sunday.
Yeah, that was probably the number one match on the card. That, like, I would have swapped that for Apollo Crews and Andrade. I don't know anybody in the world that was just clamoring for Sheamus versus Jeff Hardy.
Besides Vince.
But I am interested. Hey, it's WWE, and I'm interested in where the story is going. I haven't watched any of the television, but I'm interested where the story is going when they make Jeff out to be this loser druggie, you know, using his past and current issues, let's be honest, against him. But then he loses. So it's like, I hope this isn't I don't want to see more.
because Matt's in AEW. It's pretty obvious.
Yeah, but let's pretend like they want to tell a good story, okay? Let's just pretend that they're about storytelling and not petty. Then I would hope, even though I'm not watching this, so I don't care if there's another Sheamus and Hardy match. They can have 17 of them. I hope this isn't the end of their story, because Jeff Hardy should get his retribution, because it's supposed to be, he's being made to look bad, right?
Like, right.
Yeah,
but they also told Rusev he'd come out of the end of that gimmick looking shiny.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he looks shiny right now, doesn't he? Shiny somewhere else. Yeah. Okay, Raw Women's Championship mask. Yes. There's a lot of masks going on anyways.
Well, Asuka does wear a mask.
She does, and she defended her championship successfully against Nia Jax because it ended in a double countout. I'm not sure what happened there, but that sounds fun. I mean, honestly,
probably injured her too much and then stayed outside the ring with her.
I could see a good brawl in a double countout, so that actually sounds fun. I think they might have did a good call there. 8 minutes and 25 seconds, so it wasn't like just it didn't get to start or they just started brawling out there. Something happened. There you go, folks. Something happened.
Something happened. We don't know, but something did happen. Then we had a 2-on-1 handicap match for the Universal Championship, seeing Braun Strowman retaining his championship against The Miz and John Morrison. When it turned out it was a tag-in handicap match, and whoever won the match would get the championship. And I guess Miz and Morrison stepped on each other's toes a little bit and allowed Braun to pick up the win.
I don't know anybody who picked Braun Strowman to win this one. That is just, wow, talk about the underdog.
I know. 2-on-1, it's so unfair.
WWE Championship match. This one really sounded interesting to me. I think this one could have been fun. I might go back and watch this one. We had Drew McIntyre successfully defend his... Wow, as I go through here, nobody lost their championships on this card. That's kind of cool.
We weren't going to watch.
That's cool. Drew McIntyre successfully defended his WWE Championship against Bobby Lashley. 13 minutes, 15 seconds. I'm surprised they let these two guys go at it, but these are two guys that were in WWE, were wasted, went away, proved their worth, honestly, mostly in Impact Wrestling, but also around the horn, but came back, and these are two guys that could be at the top of your company in the immediate future. So,
well, let's not gloss over the fact that up until recently, they were both very wasted in WWE still.
100%. So that's why I'm glad that they're doing something with them at this point, at least.
Yeah.
And they're giving them 13 minutes, 15 seconds. It's the third longest match on the card.
Yeah, and I wouldn't anticipate these guys can go for, a good half hour and put on like a solid match without a lot of rests.
I think McIntyre could. I don't think Bobby. I don't know. Bobby's got pretty good cardio, but McIntyre could with the right person, I think.
Yeah. All I know is I'm really strangely looking forward to Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns when all this is over and Roman's back in the ring.
That'd be good. That would be good.
I think they could probably take it out and bring a lot out of each other. I don't know. That's all I got to say about that. And then we had the greatest wrestling match ever, Fatback.
Woo!
Randy Orton defeated Edge, and I think Edge is injured. And then he also called out Christian on Raw following that and injured Christian, and now he challenged Christian to a non-sanctioned match. So, yeah, stuff is happening there. I heard this was not the greatest wrestling match ever because that's very subjective, but it was, in its own right, a very good match, which is a pretty opposite of what I heard about WrestleMania across the board between these two. So... maybe it's worth checking out. This is one I was thinking about, but it is 44 minutes, 45 seconds of old guys.
I can't fathom even these two guys who are consummate professionals, don't get me wrong, but I don't think there's any way that there's 45 minutes of these two guys that's even a good match to me, personally. Like you said, it's all subjective.
Yeah.
I can't imagine watching these two for 45 minutes
again.
is even a
They were
good
pretty
match.
close to that at Mania.
They were, and no reason.
No. These guys should be wrestling younger guys and putting them over. Just like with the Sheamus and Jeff Hardy thing. That's where I don't get it. Like, it's kind of a waste of a slot.
Yeah, one of those two guys could be putting over another guy.
Who has anything to gain in either of these matches? It's
You could have had McIntyre beating Sheamus, and you could have had Bobby Lashley beating Jeff Hardy, and you're helping to build both of those guys. Now there might not be a big age discrepancy between the two, but there is a hierarchy and a longevity difference between those two. You know what I mean? They're newer up and coming guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
we didn't watch the show. I was kind of creative with my best match in Final Grave, Pasty. I put the best match, every match that wasn't the greatest wrestling match ever, because as soon as you call something the greatest wrestling match ever,
it's definitely not.
You just got to shut it down.
Yeah.
And I gave it a
Shane McMahon calling himself the best in the world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I also gave the pay-per-view an F. First of all, it didn't make me want to see it. And second of all, again, if you have the gall to say you're going to, before the match even happens, to say you're going to have the greatest wrestling match ever or in the world or whatever, I'm effing them just for that. I'm effing them for that, Pasty. I'm going to be on the list because...
Do we want to F them, or because we have an S rank at the other end of the spectrum, do we want to NA them?
Or would it be a U, like an unsatisfactory? Or I don't know. What's the opposite of an S? NA is like non-applicable. I don't know that this is non-applicable.
We could just go F, I guess. F minus.
I don't know that I have to watch it to make it an F minus. I have to actually care about it for it to be an F minus. You know what I mean? That adds a little feeling.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the F. I don't know. I like an NA or a U. I like anything that just means it's at the bottom of the list.
Let's just call it an FU then.
Hey, there you go.
It gets an FU from us.
It got an FU grade. I like that, Pasty. We got I like that grade. Oh, very much like that grade.
There, we've patted out the other end of our spectrum. That's good.
So Pasty.
So Backlash did one good thing.
It also gave us a very awkward transition.
Oh, yeah.
Into our Speaking Out Sentinel. So we got an FU. And now, Pasty, why don't you move into the next one?
Yes. It is the Speaking Out Sentinel this week, seeing as there is no shortage of speaking to be done. So let's just start it off this way. The pro wrestling world was shaken up this week, with several women coming forward to share stories of being sexually assaulted by male wrestlers. Soon the hashtag Speaking Out was trending. It started in the UK when indie wrestler David Starr was accused of Trigger. The women provided screen caps that seemed to prove many parts of her story. Soon, many other women, some also wrestlers, began sharing their own stories, which ranged from being sexually harassed to assaulted by male wrestlers. There are so many tweets, but so far it looks as if the allegations are in the double digits, including WWE talent as of today, which apparently led to them having an emergency meeting. Many of the names have multiple allegations against them. Some of the names include Jordan Devlin from NXT UK, Will Ospreay of New Japan Pro Wrestling. God, I'm glad I never liked him. Joe Coffey. Hey, my shoes are already off, Joe. From NXT UK. Ligero from NXT UK. Joey Ryan from Impact. Mikey Whiplash. Marty Scurll from Ring of Honor. Bubblegum. Kid Fight. And Alexander Dean. We will cover the ones we could find actual tweets and reports for here, starting with the tweet that blew this movement up. Twitter account Slay Mysterio, or Tori, short for Victoria, an independent wrestler.
Can I just say I love that the Twitter account Slay Mysterio? That's awesome.
Great. It's pretty great. Who was previously in a relationship with notable indie wrestler David Starr.